generational effects of a broken home. With this topic, I'm more so neutral. You know, I'm here to listen to y'all because I grew up with both my parents, you know, in the same household. I saw what love is. They taught me what love is. So when people talk about, you know, growing up in a single parent home, all I can do is listen. So I'm all ears. What you guys got to say?
For me, I think first and foremost, it depends on the type of person you are. And even though they use the term broken home, your parents are still your parents, whether they're here or not. So how they train you to, you know, handle this situation. My mother always trained me that anything that happens in your life is supposed to happen. And from there, you need to learn from it and grow from it. So how I lived my life from that, not having my dad, you know, around until, you know, I got older, or he living in Germany, him living in Maryland, he was in the military, so he was always gone, you know what I'm saying? But my mom never taught me to hate my dad. My mom always taught me respect. And when I talked to him, I learned from him. I took every moment I could get to get something that would help me in return. Now, when I grow up and I'm dating a lady now, I'm doing everything and more because I know what I want. I know what I didn't have growing up. So I use it as a motivational factor more than anything. My daughter, you know what I'm saying, me and her, you know, mom are together. But at the end of the day, I know peace is the biggest thing. So we have to work in a peaceful environment. And now it's like I realized, dang, my stepmom really did love me so much, bro. Because she had to deal with a situation of loving a kid that was never her blood child. She has to love me the same way, and that's what I expect of my woman too. So broken home is a kind of, you know, iffy term, but you gotta understand that you have to take your situation that you're given and turn it for good, no matter what it is.
I think to elaborate on your point of like your parents still being your parents. So I grew up without my dad, you know what I mean? So my whole life has been one perspective. My mom just instilling things into me my whole life. But like you said, I didn't want to, but throughout periods of my life, I did hate my dad. You know what I mean? I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand why you're not around. I couldn't understand what was going on during that time that you didn't want to be around for me. Yeah. And it wasn't until later on in life when we reconnected that I kind of, you know, put myself out there like, you know, what was going on. You know what I mean? And I think it's like, not so much effects of a broken home, but it's like effects of teaching, right? So if I don't have my dad around, I don't have a part of me that I don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like, I had an identity crisis. Like real shit, I had an identity crisis. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know this whole side of me. Like whether it's health, like mental health issues, like anything could happen. I don't know this whole side of me because it's not around. So it wasn't until we sat down and like had those discussions and got deep that I kind of found out who I was. You know what I mean?
Let me piggyback on that, like, because like you said, we grew up in a place where we didn't have our parents under the same household, and I don't want to get it twisted. When I was growing up, everything wasn't sunshine and purple skies, man. Everything wasn't picture perfect. But what I did realize is, you know what I'm saying, as I grew up and I had my own child, I realized some things that I was ignorant to. And a lot of times these kids are so innocent. And these parents that are broken. Oh, yeah. It ain't broken homes. These parents are broken and they're bringing that issue upon the child. There are certain things that a child should never see, hear about, and everybody is guilty of saying something, doing stuff around a child. Even if it's not your child, it takes a village to raise a child. But we all are guilty of doing and saying things around children that we bring this mindset into them. They don't think nothing of this 9 times out of 10, you know what I'm saying? But when the separation is messy, and then that child is pulled into it, then they start feeling and reaping the effects of what happened.
The children grow up too.
Yeah.
Part of what you're saying, those things that happen, we remember those things. Like me growing up, I agree with both of y'all from a different perspective. I grew up without my dad, grew up with my mom. So, but eventually I had a stepfather. He did what he was able to do, but I knew he wasn't my dad. So growing up with my mother was a strong figure. She was the disciplinarian, all that. So my viewpoint on life is based on what she said goes. So for a portion of my life, I didn't understand my dad. Me and my dad class, me and my mom class. So growing up, just with this tug of war of who you are, who you should be, not necessarily feeling appreciated for just being you, like that, what a broken home may do, that's what it does to me.
Yeah.
So I'm growing up like, oh, well, I need to be this way, or I need to be like this side of my family, or I don't even know my cousin. I don't really know people on my dad's side. My cousin on my mom's side, oh, we don't even talk. We don't have relationships. So when you having that nucleus family, it's important because a lot of things happen throughout your life that you need a strong male figure. You need your dad.
Yeah.
You also need your mom now. So personally, I felt like growing up, it was a matter of just being camouflaged.
Yeah.
Like being who I needed to be within that moment. And that's confusing growing up as a man in society. Like you not really having a firm foundation on like what a man is supposed to be.
And I would say I agree with that to a certain extent because it doesn't always take a natural father to be a father figure. And when I say this is, I grew up, my mother, and I had 2 older sisters, then it was me. So learning how to be a man came from me observing other men. If I'm at my best friend's house and I'm seeing how his dad acts, I'm like, okay, that's what a man does. I'm around my big cousins, okay, that's what a man does. You know, I guess for me it was a blessing that I learned how to observe.
I didn't have
but
a
the
man.
but the dangers in that are you got to choose the right men.
Yeah.
And as a kid, we don't know. So
You
like
don't know.
coaches and stuff like that's probably like the most like fatherless figure we have
Foundation.
in our growing up. You know what I mean? So it's like if I look up to my coach, like, oh, I want to be just like him one day, but he's a shitty person, then I'm setting myself up to be a shitty
But
person.
see, you're only shown what people give you, right? So with saying that, you can't like you say I want to grow up to be like him. You don't even really know who he is
Exactly.
fully and truthfully. But that's with everybody.
That's a kid.
Not even a broken home. You can grow up with your dad. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to nobody's dad's in the home or nothing like that. But it could look like your mom and dad have a perfect marriage. But inside that bedroom, when you go to sleep at night, they fussing, fighting, he beating her down and cheating. And you grow up thinking, loving basketball, you grow up thinking my dad is the greatest man in the world. So sometimes a broken home is not necessarily the mom and dad not being in the house together. There's a lot of broken homes with both parents in the house.
They might have been better off if they broke up.
Yeah.
I think the perception of a broken home is like people feel like you don't get love. You know what I mean? Like I grew up with just my mom, but I had a huge family. Like I grew up around love. Like I know how to love people and I know how to give it and receive it. So it's not like you don't receive it. You know what I mean? You don't know how to experience this. Like I said, there's different parts of you that you just don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that though. Like, I'm gonna sit on that point about love. That's why I feel like, by definition, I identify with broken home. Because love is an interesting word. My family, the way I grew up, we didn't know how to express it. We didn't know what necessarily love was. I'm 28. I'm just now understanding what love is. My family has just now got to the point where we understand how we share feelings with one another.
Now I agree with
different.
I agree with that because I tell people the biggest moment in my life was having my daughter, man. When I had my daughter, I realized love on a whole nother level. Because you can have a girlfriend, but you can leave your girlfriend and know she'll be sufficient. You get what I'm saying? She can take care of herself. But when you bring something into this world that you say, yo, she depends on me, or he depends on me. How this person ends up 20 years down the line is because of who I am. Then I started realizing stuff that I never realized before. Like I said, as a kid, you might remember some stuff, but you're ignorant to a lot of the things. You're innocent. So as I had my daughter, I was sacrificing for my daughter. I was doing all these things. I tell people, I live where I am to this day, and I'm not gonna tell y'all where I live, but I live where I do this to this day because my daughter is there. If it was not for her, I would be gone. But then I realized I sacrificed this. I'm doing all this. I love my daughter to death. Why my dad ain't do this for me? So it took me a couple of years to just start realizing stuff, and then I said, you know what? Yo, we need to talk, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We need to talk about it. So, and that's what a lot of us do not do. And see, man, me and my dad had a long conversation, and that was probably like 2-3 years ago. But our relationship jumped to a whole nother level because we both expressed ourselves. And we put our pride to the side finally. You get what I'm saying? We put our pride to the side because he had reasons for why he felt the way he felt, and I never understood his side. I had reasons for the ways I felt, and he never understood my
But
side.
it's important for the parent to not tell you his side. Like
Like your
as
mom.
your dad, I'm not gonna tell you why your mom left. Like you know what I mean? Because with the way I view it, might not be the reason she left. You know what I mean?
But when I say tell you his side, it's not so about the other person. It's
Yeah.
not about
It ain't about
because
the parent,
a lot of
yeah.
times, we like to treat our dads and our moms as a together thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes we just have to know them for who they are and what they can do to help us. So that was my conversation with my father. Like, yo, I just said, yo, why haven't you been around? What's going on? We need to talk. And he was like, yo, we had a conversation. We put a lot of stuff on the table. And you know what I'm saying? My dad came to me and was like, look, I'm thankful that you came to me and talked to me about this. And I apologize.
That's healing.
Because as a kid, no matter what happens, no matter what your parents do, we all want our parents. No matter what, we all want our parents. And you can say you hate them. Hate is a form of love to me. If I hate you so much, that means I really love you. So
Yeah. Because I
You know what I'm saying?
felt love for you that I can hate you. Like yeah.
So
Large
see,
amount
that's-
of emotions
Yeah.
you're attached to.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
Yeah, it's just about having that conversation, man, and realizing what you go through. I think everybody's put in a situation for a certain reason. So there are broken homes with parents outside the homes. There are broken homes with parents inside the homes.
It's a fact.
But it's a conversation that needs to be had, and then actions behind that conversation.
How old are you?
31.
Oh, so you had that around 27. So 26 is like the full development of man.
I wouldn't
That's what
say
they
that.
say.
I wouldn't say
That's
that.
what they say.
But see,
Developmentally, you really
and
grow
that's
like a full
my
brain.
whole thing
It's
is
biology.
what they say. I hate what they say, bro. And I guess it's because we always put expectations on each other.
You know, I'm
those
talking about
expectations-
psychology, like not psychology, but psychologically, your brain is fully developed at like 25, 26.
Yeah.
So you're able to digest and have those type of conversations.
And then, but I think sometimes you're a
Oh, we
product
do.
of your experiences too. Yeah, we can. I think you're a product of your experiences too, because when I didn't have my dad, I grew up around my great grandfather, not just my grandfather, but my great grandfather. So I feel like me, I gained a certain amount of wisdom as a little kid. Like I grew up with my great grandfather. My mom was always gone, so I grew up raising my family when I was 13 years old because my mom and my sister had cancer. So my mom stayed with my sister in the hospital for 3-4 months at a time. So it's me and my little brother, and I gotta go to school, get home, make sure he ready, this, that, and the third. And I talked to my great grandfather, and he lived all the way to be like 98, bro. So I had that wisdom from him that I could sustain a lot of things. So some people, I think there is a certain age where certain things have to happen. I think people are growing and maturing based on their situations and their environment.
I'm glad you hit on some points. Like you had that. Like, I'm coming from a perspective of not having none of that. Like not having a lot of men in my family. Like having to take care of my little cousins at 9.
Yeah.
I learned how to cook at 9. I learned how to hold a fort down at 9. So a lot of these things I had to develop quick in order to survive. And being camouflaged, like being whoever you need to be in that moment, like you gotta learn that out of survival.
And that's
Because of my lack, now I know what I need to have. I know how I need to start a family to change all that.
And that's, I think, the biggest thing I learned, and that as being a therapist, and like you said, as being a psychologist, the reason I guess I say I don't like the expectations and the standards is because we have to go into each person and know about you.
Oh yeah.
Who are you? What are your experiences? Because I can't form an unbiased opinion of you until I know everything about you. So if I say that you should be this way by 28, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody else like this, everybody else has to go through it.
And you.
You know what I'm saying?
I think we're doing a great job of like taking home and meaning house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nowadays with people co-parenting and situations like that, your home is expanded. You know what I mean? Your home is your village. You know what I mean? It's not just down to this house because that's not where it all goes
Man, the
down.
greatest thing I think my mom ever did for me, bro, she never taught me to dislike my dad. And growing up, I found out a lot of bad stuff about my dad. My mom never preached none of that stuff, bro. Like, even like issues they had and problems they had, I didn't even know nothing about it. I didn't know nothing about it. My mom, whenever my dad would come around, and I'm talking about, man, growing up, I probably saw my dad. First time I remember seeing my dad, I was 5 years old. Him and his stepmom came over. I remember meeting him and my stepmom came over. The children were little. I was gone. I saw him again probably when I got older. My dad went to Germany. He came back. He went to Korea. Came back. You know what I'm saying? He was always gone. And all out, my mom was just like, hey, daddy's coming. You should be excited. His dad there. Like, even though he don't know come, so you know what I'm saying? But I never missed. I feel like I never missed out on the love because my mom provided this. Now, what I do tell people all the time, I hate when women say this, is I had to be the mother and the father.
Nah, it's impossible.
Oh, shorty, you can't
It's impossible.
be the father.
Yeah, it's impossible.
You're not built.
You had to hold it down, but you want the mother and the
Can't
father.
replace your mother, can't replace your father.